All right, here's my audience. There's three other people on there, and then 2 people there. And I'm Tate, and my persuasive speech is about universal health care. All right. So, have you ever thought about how many people in the U.S. don't have easy access to health care? According to the U.S. Commonwealth Fund, the U.S. is the only established country without this luxury. So many people go each day without medical protection in case something happens to them or their loved ones. And if you haven't thought about this problem before, it's time to really start thinking about it, because there's a lot of people in the US who struggle every single day, and this is something that every human deserves. So why do you think healthcare is so important to Americans? Many people in America struggle each day just to see doctors for even simple procedures. Without universal healthcare, a lot of people struggle to get important things like medications and treatments that are already expensive themselves. And areas of poverty have higher medical problems, certain things like gum disease, things like that. And since they are already in poverty, they don't have enough money to get medical support for those problems. And Vox magazine says the prices are almost 50% more just to get a hospital bed in the US compared to other countries. So I was pretty shocked by that in my research. And then, in most other countries, universal healthcare is already the norm. And to quote Healthcare as a Universal Human Right by Roy Nunez, in most civilized countries, the welfare state formula promoted by Bismarck transformed the ideal of justice into an integral element of society and community life. In countries like the Netherlands as well, universal healthcare was implemented in the 90s, and nobody on either side of the government has ever tried to take it away. So I'm sure that would be a problem for the US, but, and even though these countries have to spend more money on healthcare, they see it as a human right and something that every human deserves. And not having universal healthcare in one of the most civilized countries in the world is starting to take a toll on us Americans as well. For example, our suicide rates have gone higher as the medical bills have gone higher because people just can't take the pressure of that. And cardiovascular diseases are still a problem in the US. And a lot of people who, specifically older people who are more commonly having cardiovascular diseases, might not have enough family or money to pay for the medical bills. And people's overall well-being has dropped in the last 10 years, according to the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluations. So let me show you these slides first. So this one just shows all the red countries are countries with universal health care, and the US, you can see right there, does not have universal health care. So it's actually 69% of the global population has universal health care. All right. Now, what do you think would happen to the US if we adopted universal health care? If we made it a thing in the US, many people would finally be able to alleviate just their simple medical problems when they previously had no way of doing so. People can finally get the surgeries they couldn't before, whether that was life-saving or just a simple procedure. They can get early detection of diseases that if they were left untreated, they could be deadly down the road. And people with painful chronic diseases, like for example, sickle cell disease, they can treat that a lot easier as well. People don't have to pay extensive amounts of money for simple procedures anymore. According to the World Health Organization, 344 million people are in poverty right now because of medical bills or related to medical bills in some way. And I'm sure a large portion of that is in America. And, with no medical bills, people don't have to take out a loan or spend their life savings just to stay alive. And without the burden of debt, people can, relieve themselves of a little bit of stress and focus on other things in life. And universal healthcare can also benefit the economy and overall just has a lot of positive effects to it. A lot of countries that have adopted universal healthcare have seen a boost in their economy and just economic growth in general. So I don't see why the US wouldn't want to adopt it. And insurance companies will stop hounding people for, hundreds of millions of dollars. And people can also explore other investments or open businesses or just use that money for other things that can better other people. So I just want you to try to think what the U.S. would be like if we had universal health care. While I show you just this little image, this is kind of what universal health care just is about. It covers everybody, no matter who you are. Yeah. All right. And in an article written by The Pit, the writer talks about having symptoms of a heart attack, which is obviously a very common thing for a lot of people in the U.S. to have. And when people have heart pains like this, I'm sure there's been a lot of people who have decided not to go to the hospital because they know they don't want to pay that expensive medical bill. So when you have heart pains like this, you have to go to the doctor. That's something you have to do. But if you don't go to the doctor, you could be, even if it's not a heart attack, you could be just avoiding the inevitable, or just forgetting about something that is gonna, be bad for you. And universal health care lets you go to the doctor whenever you want without that huge fear of paying that medical bill. That's the main thing that a lot of people are worried about. When you think about it, people really need doctors just as much as they need food or water. They're just very important individuals. And doctors are the ones who kind of figure out everything wrong with you, and they're the ones who sign off on medications that can save your life as well. And doctors are just truly important people. That's what I'm trying to focus in on. They're very important. And there's also been a lot of protests in America over, the last couple of decades about universal health care as well. And people know the benefits of universal health care, and they've seen it in other countries, and they want it implemented in the U.S. And here's just a little slide of somebody at a protest for healthcare as well. All right. And overall, I just really hope that the U.S. can find a way to integrate this into our government. And this is something that America truly needs. We shouldn't be this developed of a country without universal healthcare. Healthcare helps heal people. So I truly hope this is a problem the U.S. can figure out one day. Thank you.